Booktube, Sarah here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a tag video. I was unofficially tagged by Steve Donahue for this one. This is an original tag that he did, and I will leave a link in the description box below to his original video along with a list of the questions that he posted. So there are six questions, in this tag, and I love the idea of this tag because it's when we all started Booktube, or most people when they start Booktube, they end up doing the Booktube newbie tag. And this is kind of a revamp for people who have hit like maybe milestones or gotten a bunch of new subscribers and things like that. And that is me right now, is because I just hit a couple weeks ago 1,000 subscribers. And I've gotten a bunch of new subscribers over the past, few months or so. So this is kind of a nice reintroduction to who I am and what my channel is about. And I thought it would be really, really fun to do. So I want to thank everybody so much who has subscribed to my channel in the last little while, or all of my subscribers in general. Everyone who comments, everyone who likes my videos, I really, really do appreciate it. I kind of love what I do. And I never honestly thought that I would ever actually hit 1,000 subscribers. I talk mostly about romance novels. And I mean, within the publishing industry, romance is huge. Romance is king or queen. It is the best-selling, one of the best-selling genres in fiction. And yet, its representation on Booktube is so small in comparison to what it actually sells. And I am so pleased to be part of this amazing community and that I can talk about books that I love and not feel like I'm a complete outsider, because I found a lot more of us. And, I watch a ton of booktubers, and not all that just talk about romance. I watch people who talk about all kinds of things, and I don't necessarily watch them because I read the same books that they do, but I watch them because I adore watching them as people. And yeah, so let's jump right into this tag before I go off on a huge rant about, or not a good rant, but a whole discussion on why I love Booktube so much. That should be another video. So there are 6 questions here. The first one is, who are you? What's your channel, and how long have you been making videos, and how often? So who am I? My name is Sarah, and I am almost 40. I live in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with my husband and 2 cats. And I work full-time customer service. And yeah, I love to read. I love to read. I love to knit. And yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. What is my channel? My channel is now called Steeped in Books. I have had a few incarnations, different names for my channel. When I first started, it was Novel Expectations, which I thought was super duper cute. Then I moved on to Not Just Romance Novels, because I mostly talked about romance, but I didn't just talk about romance novels. I did decide a few months ago to do a name change on my channel, because even though romance is predominantly what I read, I didn't want to get pigeonholed. I wanted to be able to feel like I could kind of read outside that genre every now and then, and I do quite often. I'm loving cozy mysteries. I really do love reading nonfiction. I read thrillers. I do read a little bit of everything, which is kind of fun. At least to me, that whole variety is the spice of life kind of an idea. So yes, if you are here, watching me, 90% of the content is going to be romance novels, contemporary, historical, some paranormal. I'm starting to get into that just a little bit. The Harlequin lines, the Desire, the Blaze novels, all those ones, the imprints from Harlequin, I absolutely love. But yeah, it's predominantly romance with a sprinkling of other genres and other types of books in there as well. How long have I been making videos? My 3-year Booktube anniversary will actually be on the 1st or the 2nd of January of 2019, so it's coming up very quickly. Yeah, so that's really exciting. And how often? I now aim for 3 videos a week. I do 2 during the weeks. I've been slack the last few weeks, and I've been a little bit late in uploading and filming, but I do try to put videos up on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Saturdays is pretty much a guarantee, but it's at least 3 days a week, because I do have a lot that I want to share with you guys, and I like doing videos, so yeah. Question number 2, what kinds of videos do you make, and what's the general tone of your channel? So I do a lot of the standard Booktube videos. TBRs, wrap-ups. I don't do hauls generally anymore. because I'm actually not buying as many books. I could do library hauls, but the books I pick up from the library are ones that I'm now going to be but adding to my monthly TBR, so you'll see them then. You know, sometimes when I'm doing my my weekly vlogs, if I go to a used bookstore, pick something up, I will show you guys then. I kind of amalgamate that into my weekly vlogs. My vlogs are, I love doing all my videos, but I just adore doing the vlogs. I really, really do. So yes, I am a vlogger. I vlog all throughout the week, and then I post that at the end of the week on a Saturday. So my vlogs run from Saturday to Friday, and I really like doing them. They seem to be the most watched videos on my channel, so you guys seem to really like them too, and I really appreciate that, because there is a bit of work that goes into them, like, you know, putting all the clips together and doing all that, but I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm really trying to branch out more and actually get videos outside of, you know, me just sitting here telling you guys what I've read that day. The video coming up this Saturday is actually going to have a lot of footage from the Santa Claus parade that I went to, that my niece was in on Saturday night, so that's exciting. But yeah, that's excuse me, my goal is to kind of get out and about a bit more and do things. But yeah, definitely, you know, the standard booktube stuff, along with, I like to do a lot of anticipated reads type of videos, excuse me. Not necessarily recommendations, because I don't know whether I can recommend them to you or not, but I guess they are recommendations in a way, because they're the books that are coming out in the months to come that sound really exciting to me, and I just love doing those. The general tone of my channel, I like to think friendly and chatty. You know, I don't heavily edit myself. I say a lot, and I know that, and you know, I hope that's okay. I like it to feel as if you and I were sitting down together, having a beverage of your choice, coffee, tea, a more adult beverage, and chatting about books. Yeah, so that's kind of the tone of my channel, at least in my opinion. What kind of community have you developed on your channel? I have the best viewers. I really, really do. Everybody who watches and who comments is super awesome and super sweet. You know, we're all sharing book recommendations, and I love them all, and I like to consider a lot of them are friends. You know, like, it's funny, I was talking to my mom on Sunday. We were out together, and I was talking about somebody's video that I had watched. I think it was Karen over at Rather Be Reading. And I literally started the conversation with my friend Karen. You know, like, that's how I feel about some of the people that I watch and the people who watch me as well. And yeah, I absolutely love that aspect of it. Question number 4. What are some unusual or distinctive features of your channel? Unusual or distinctive? I talk about romance novels. And on Booktube, that is not the norm. There are not very many of us who discuss romance. And I think it's really refreshing when I come across other booktubers who do. You know, I think that's what kind of makes my channel distinct. When I first started, I had a channel years and years ago, a booktube channel. When I first started watching it, probably close to 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't think it stayed up for more than 3 months, because at the time, Booktube was very, very heavy YA, and there was no way I was able to push my way into it, if you will. But, you know, it's changed a lot. I think Steve referred to it as Booktube 2.0, which I think is really great, because there are so many booktubers that are not just talking about YA. And I'm not knocking on YA. YA is great. It is absolutely fantastic. But there is so much more. I mean, if you spend your entire life eating pizza, you are going to totally deprive yourself on the enjoyment of so many other foods. It's the same with reading. If you pigeonhole yourself into one genre or one type of book, and I know YA is not a genre, because it's not, and I think a lot of people talk about it as if it is a genre, but it's not. You know, within YA, you get contemporary, you get dystopian, you know, there are mysteries and thrillers, there are all kinds of things, but step outside of that section of the bookstore and see what else is available, and there is a ton of stuff. You know, yes, I predominantly read YA, but I do delve outside of that on occasion, and I usually, every time I do, I thoroughly enjoy it, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, so that's just my thoughts on that. What was the question? Oh yeah, what's the distinct feature? Another distinct feature is that I tend to go off on random tangents. I eventually circle my way back, I assure you, but it happens. Anyone who watches my vlogs that can be upwards of an hour and a half plus in length, no, I enjoy chatting. That's what I'm saying. This channel to me is just me being able to sit down with my friends and have a chat about books. Question number 5 is, what is your quote-unquote side hustle, he put? Patreon, Indiegogo, self-published books, merchandise. None of the above. I don't have a side hustle. This is part and parcel of it, but I used to do a knitting podcast. That's where I kind of got my start on YouTube. And I had well over 2,000 subscribers. And I did that for a good number of years. And at one point I was doing both of these, both the knitting podcast and the Booktube channel together, like at the same time. And it got to be a little bit too much and I got to be overwhelmed. I became very disillusioned with the knitting community, the knitting podcast community. Not the podcasts that I watch some great ones, but I just found a lot of them became very, very commercial. And very, very much, look what we bought, look what we got, look at what was sent to us, that kind of an idea. And even within Booktube, that is not my favorite thing in the world to watch. I think it's great if publishers send you stuff. I think it's super duper exciting. Steve's a completely different ballgame because Steve does it for a living. But in general, when all you're seeing are like hauls and things like that, but you're not seeing the people read as much as do you know what I mean? Like, they're not reading to justify what's coming into their collection or into their bookshelves. And again, I'm not knocking anybody, you know, I love to buy books as much as the next person, believe me, but I also read a lot. So, you know, I just found that with the knitting community, it became very commercial and not necessarily what they were going out and buying, because if you're going out and buying it, you are then supporting that person, you know, whether it be that indie yarn dyer or that independent publisher or that author or what have you. If you are physically purchasing that book, whether it be a physical copy or an e-copy or an audiobook, whatever, you know, you are supporting that person and their livelihood. If you are getting stuff for free, yes, you're supporting them because you're talking about it, but it's not necessarily putting as much money in their pocket. I don't know. Am I saying that correctly? I'm probably way off on something different. But yeah, so that used to be, going back to what I was saying, I used to do this podcast, but I just found I couldn't keep up with some of the bigger podcasters, you know, and not that I'm ever trying to compete with anybody else, because obviously within Booktube, I'm a very small channel, and I just felt like within the knitting community that for podcasts, it's nice seeing all the new stuff, but when you're doing some of these podcasts would go like a half an hour, 45 minutes just showing all the new stuff that they got. And I became very disillusioned and I stepped away from it. So on my weekly vlogs, for those of you who watch them, if you're interested in seeing just my knitting content, I do like to talk about it because I do, along with reading, knitting is my other hobby. It kind of, you know, there are certain things that define you. If someone were to ask, you know, define Sarah for me, right? Oh, she loves to read and she loves to knit. Those are like the two things. So at the beginning of all of my vlogs, the very first kind of little clip that I do is that I show you guys what I've been knitting during the week. So that's really, really fun. But other than that, outside of that, I do kind of have, I don't want to call it a side hustle because it's not, but I, back in May, was approached by Harlequin Enterprises, which are like my favorite publisher. And they have asked me, and there are several other booktubers that are doing this as well. Steph from Steph's Romance Books Talk, I think. I'm sorry, Steph, I can't remember. I will leave links to all 5 of the 4 channels in the description box below. There's also Ash from Ash Hearts Books, Jess from Peace Love Books, and Heather from Bookables. The 5 of us kind of do these videos for a channel called Read Bliss, which is produced by Harlequin, and they put out videos every week all about romance novels. So I was approached to do this, and I mean, it made my year, like, no joke. It was absolutely fantastic and exciting. So I do that on the side. So along with leaving links to all those other ladies, I will also, of course, leave a link to Read Bliss. Please go check out their channel. It is fantastic. If you love romance novels, these are some great other ladies who do these videos as well. So I highly encourage you to go check them out. And the last question is, where else am I online? I do have a blog that I've kind of removed everything from. I'm playing around with it. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. I'm probably going to do a lot of thoughts on that one come December, and then I might revamp it and bring it back in January. I'm also on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm a lot more on Instagram than I am on Twitter. Twitter, I don't get. Does that make me sound old? I mean, you can go on and read stuff and whatever, but I find every time I go on Twitter, there are so many ads And so many people, like, because I follow a lot of bookish things on Twitter, a lot of it's, oh, this book is on sale, or that book's on sale, or stuff like that. I don't need that, you know. I mean, you get that a lot on Instagram too, but I find it's not as much. I love Instagram. I absolutely love going on Instagram and having Bookstagram. I think it's fantastic. I'm really trying to get into the habit of posting more there. So again, all the links to all those places will be down below. And I'm also, of course, on Goodreads. So please do follow me on Goodreads if you are interested. But anyway, guys, that is it for this tag. I do hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or anything like that. Again, this was kind of like a 1,000 subscriber celebration. And I did talk in one of my vlogs, I believe it was, about doing a like a Q&A. If you guys are interested in that, please let me know. I'm also thinking about, like I said, this might be kind of part of the 1,000 subscriber celebration. And there's another tag I plan on doing later in December that I was tagged by Lindsay over at The Wandering Reader for that. So thank you again, Lindsay. I will be doing that one as well. And I also was thinking about doing the Booktube Partners tag with my husband because, you know, he's kind of off camera on a lot of my vlogs and even some of my videos. You'll hear his little voice in the background. He'll tell me I'm wrong about something. But yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that kind of a video too with Garrett because he is also a big reader as well. I keep trying to convince him to do his own Booktube channel, but he won't, so whatever. But maybe I could get him to do this tag with me. But if you guys are interested in a Q&A, please let me know in the comments below, and if you have any questions, post them down there as well, and maybe I'll put together a little video for that as well. But anyway, guys, that is it for this one. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody. Bye.